Oh, we are live. This is the Love Gurus podcast. Thank you all for being here out there on YouTube. We're going to take ridiculous dating questions from Reddit and you. Here we go.
You think your love life is going kind of bad?
It blows.
Usually.
If you find out your girlfriend accidentally banged your dad.
She rubbed it in my face.
Rubbed it in his face, too.
And made me watch.
If you find out your fiance has been slipping it to your mom.
Just a chain gang.
Yeah. My mom was more cordial about it, though.
To tell you what to do. Listen to the Love Gurus, or your life is screwed.
Gives them a satisfaction they couldn't get any other way.
Wow, I don't know what that was.
Oh, wow, okay.
That's cool. I like that song had a little intro from it. That's nice.
Sure,
All right.
yeah.
Here we go. We are live. Thank you out there listening. Everybody out there listening, I should say. We are almost on time tonight. Pretty good for our bell curve. But we are going to take ridiculous dating questions from Reddit. I'm Jake Vevera. With me, as always, Suzanne Leah Shepard. How's it going, Suzanne?
Oh, just great. It is super windy in New York, so I don't know why they call Chicago the Windy City, because for today we deserve it. It's, I mean, there's, men's skirts are blowing up, women's hats are blowing
ridiculous.
off. It's crazy.
Man buns are just being tossed around into like regular long hair. They're humiliated now.
Yeah, it's like, how do you show up to the office with a perfectly coiffed man bun in weather like this? So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sucks for those guys. But we are inside, and we are taking the dating questions. Let me introduce our two hilarious guests. First up, he is a returning guest and hilarious stand-up comic, Mr. Tony Sykowski. Thank you for being back on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Matt. Tell them where they can find you.
Oh, on Instagram, at Tony Sykowski.
Nice.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
Find him on Instagram. And our second guest, another hilarious stand-up comic, Mr. Adam Gully. Thank you for being back on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And where can they find you?
Just Adam Gully on Instagram is fine. 4 E's at the end, just because people always forget it. So I just make it, well known.
Nice.
Yeah. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. The 3E Adam Gully, don't fuck with him. He was like friends with Epstein.
Yeah.
He's
Two-
still at
two
large.
E's, you can mess with him. 4
Yeah,
E's.
he's a good guy. He just, as a comic, he sucks. But no weird kid shit. He's all right.
That's the highest rate.
Yeah,
Comic,
yeah.
not that great, but he's not fucking kids. So you should
That's
probably
right.
book him.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, 100%, dude. The other Jake Vevera, he's on the side of both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. It's fucking weird. He's like, I cheer them on to smack each other like Don King or something. I like spike my hair up and sell tickets.
Yeah.
I'm the one who told them to broadcast that whole fucking monstrosity that's on Facebook every day.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of wrecked homes, I would say that's probably the theme for this week's episode. It's do you wreck the home, or is the home wrecked, if I could boil it down to a sentence. So, I mean, have you guys, and you don't have to say, have you ever wrecked a home? Or had your home wrecked, I should say.
I mean, I crashed into one with a car once. Does that count?
I've said this on this podcast before, but when I was in college, we had a game called The Home Wrecker, where a male friend and I would find a couple at a bar that were getting along really well, where they're like, wow. You can tell that the sparks are flying. It's totally a love match. And I would go and talk to the guy, and he would go talk to the girl, and we would wreck that home.
Nice.
Right there in the bar. We didn't care.
I like to think you guys had a giant bus, what was it, America home makeover.
Yeah.
They're like, wreck that home.
It was the Wienermobile, but an actual penis.
I am totally picturing like a Bob Barker looking dude in a whole studio audience that has cameras on
Thin
you from the studio.
microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's totally like the game show host in Running Man, to where they're just betting on you doing horrible things, but it's like a nice wholesome crowd, and like little old grandmas are like, I'll bet Suzanne's gonna blow that guy in the bathroom. She doesn't care that he's got a ring.
Yeah, what was always funny is what because the friend that I would do this with, he was really really attractive, and I look like this. So what would always happen is that the guy would always be looking over to the girl, like trying to get past me,
Swoop in,
and I'm like, whereas the girl would totally just be like, messy hair, don't care, into the new guy. And just thinking that she's had the best night ever. So
that's crazy. So you had to be the dude where you're like, oh, let me just win her over with jokes and charms, and I'll lie to this guy and tell him that I got a job, and then I'm like a producer, and that if this guy sleeps with me, I can get him on NBC or something.
You don't know the places I can take you.
You haven't seen Devils Wear Prada? That was based on my grandma.
Yeah.
I inherited the business kid.
Had I had the life experience that I have now at 23, people would have left that bar in tears. Okay,
Yeah. You would have cleaned up on that game. In fact, dude, we should start that game. You know, fuck the Love Gurus podcast, different podcast. Now it's the Home Wreckers podcast.
The Home Wreckers.
Yeah, we're gonna sponsor 2 home wreckers each episode, and we're gonna train them and then send them out to do the devil's bidding.
Oh, I like that. You wouldn't bring a couple in, then try to wreck their relationship on air.
No, well,
No.
Look specifically for rings.
I think that
we could do that.
I think it'd be hard to get a rebooking out of that.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It gets a little complicated.
You run out of couples at some point.
Yeah, because we have to have a live audience that can watch and can bet. You know what I mean, Running Man style, and they're going to be our agents of rec. Is what that is, and we're going to send them out, and then the people at home can bet, and they can win prizes.
Yeah.
Have you ever had anybody, because we're all stand-ups here, has anyone ever been on a date or been married or whatever, and then after the show hit on you before?
Oh, I look like this, dude.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I don't understand the question. So you're saying like you do a show.
They were actively on a date and then hit on you after the show.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been hit on after a show, but it's always like that creepy guy that you're kind of like debating. Should I talk to him or call 911? I'm like in between. I'm in two minds about this guy.
I think that's only you.
Right? Yeah. I really liked your feet during your set the whole time.
It's like
you
he
ever
has
do material about taking your shoes off on stage?
She's like,
You
I
ever do
don't
that?
have any bits about that.
it's always like his shirt. His shirt always matches the exact color of his pants, no matter what. You know, it could be,
yeah.
It's either a blue or a red or a green, and you're like, how did you?
Mustard shoes.
Yeah,
mustard
how
pants.
did you find that? Yeah, so but it's
mental
never
illness in action.
but it's never someone who's already in a date. So
Okay.
but has that happened to you? Then?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, that's happened.
Wow.
And, they'll slip you. I've not had anything like too serious, but they'll slip you numbers or do something like
Really?
that. But then I've always had the one where, so I've never like actually knowingly wrecked a home or gone out with someone who's like,
Sure.
I did actually go out with a girl that I had asked her out. I don't know. It's like, it's so strange now with all, like there's either, what is it? Like the swingers?
Yeah.
Or there'll be like couple sharing sort of situation.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've been approached with that with stand-up before, but I was at Mohegan Sun and I had a couple come aggressively with that, you know.
Right, so it's not so much.
We both like, yeah.
It's not so much home wrecking. It's just more home
building.
defiling.
I'm home building,
and it's just you're just grossing
home,
up the home
enhancing.
Yeah.
I'm building it.
Adam is the
I'm a nurturer.
is the bonus room.
I'm the bonus pig. You know?
They've been wanting for such a long time. They've been saving up for it.
No, because I mean,
Adam is the white salty glue keeping that relationship together.
Well, because people like, I mean, it's strange if people just come to a show solo, right? So it's
Yeah.
either on a date, married, or whatever. So it's weird where, they'll come in your own ego. You're like, oh, I did really well or whatever. So, but you're like, oh, no, they want to fuck collectively or like watch you fuck their wife or something like that. That sort of thing.
Okay.
Was it them being like, hey, we want you to fuck my wife and I watch? Or was it like he hops in? Was it a three-way or like
I don't know because I didn't get to that. But it was one of those things like, it was basically like, are you into the lifestyle?
Sure.
Sort of,
Yeah.
and like because they just kept buying shots, and then you know,
Okay.
See, that's a
she was
rookie
rubbing
move, dude.
rubbing the shoulders. Oh, we got our hotel room at the casino.
Got it.
Do you want to come join later? And I was like, I'm good. You know, like I'm full. You know, I was like,
Right.
I'm full.
I'm full. I'm full.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's buying
These
the
mashed
shots.
potatoes have really taken me out of the sex game for the night.
You're gonna have to
Sweaty
do
up there.
You got to do some kind of Monster Energy combo, because here's the thing: if there's any couples out there, just in case my marriage ever goes south and I'm on the road, you know what I mean, and you're trying to
do it.
Yeah, you're into a guy who, this only happened to me once, but both the man and the woman look more like Steve Buscemi than me. It was fucking weird, dude. So I was not into it at all. But if there's any of you that look less like Steve Buscemi than me, especially the woman, and you want to do this with me, here's what you have to do. Don't give me a bunch of shots, otherwise I'm just gonna disappoint you, the guy, whoever's holding the camera, the family dog, everybody. Yeah. It's just gonna be me trying to squeeze a drunken semi-stiffy into like some lady in front of a disappointed man, and a camera guy who keeps drifting off, and you can tell the camera guy's checking his text and shit like that as I'm going.
Yeah.
He's
bored by his wife getting plowed by you. She's upset.
Jake,
he's on Craigslist looking for another dude.
Let's get out of the lifestyle. Like that's what they both find out after that.
It's a journey. Yeah, Jake is the guy that from the stage, he brings a microphone, and they're like, "What's that for?" He's like, "Just in case." Runs up to the room.
Glass of water in their relationship to wake them up. Yeah.
And that was the day that Jerry Falwell Jr. found God. He was like, "This is clearly like the devil is involved in some of this."
Yeah.
I mean, Christ, look at how sad that guy's dick is. It's curved even though it's flaccid. It's like a deflated Nike swoosh. That fucking thing.
His dick is always going.
Always question.
Even his dick doesn't know why it's here.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing I think about relationships is, nowadays if someone says, like, someone said to me very recently that she was having a conversation with a friend that I didn't know, and the friend was saying, "Oh, I'm engaged, but I have a boyfriend. I don't know how to break up with the boyfriend." And I was kind of like, well, like, you don't have to break up with the boyfriend, because in my head I was like,
she's engaged?
Yeah, because in my head...
But she's breaking up with the boy...
Yeah.
So she had two people.
So two people. But in my head I was just like, oh, they have an open relationship. And so I was like, well, why is she going to break up with the boyfriend? And then she goes, oh, the fiance didn't know. And I was like, that's how progressive I am. I just assumed it was an open relationship instead of cheating.
Yeah.
Like a 1950s housewife. Like, I just felt very... and I was like, oh.
Why would you break up with your boyfriend? Are him and your fiance friends? Isn't your fiance going to be sad about this?
Don't they high five each other?
Yeah. But it definitely like took the wind out of her
that
sails.
Eiffel Tower's going to turn into the leaning tower of wherever you live.
But that definitely took the wind out of her sails, because she was, sort of like divulging this like super deep, dark secret. And I was kind of like,
right.
It's everyone's doing it. Yeah. So anyway, I guess I need to be a better listener.
You, Suzanne. Okay.
You
have a fiance.
I mean, I like that.
Double boyfriend, girlfriend. I'd be like, she's so progressive. So that's how we found out about it here.
We're in therapy and we communicate about it. I hear you. If I'm going to speak my truth, I'm fucking 7 other people.
All 4 of us in this therapy session. Throuple therapy.
I'm picturing this is like the female version of Ned Flanders pouring his relationship secrets to Larry Flint. Well, godly gee, this is what happened. He's like, just put 17 women in a pile and fuck them all, kid. What are you doing, Ned? That's what you ought to do.
Okay, what if you're in a situation where you're in an open relationship and you say to your husband, listen, my boyfriend and I aren't getting along, so we're gonna go to couples therapy. Is it okay? You know what I mean?
That's...
Like, what if you go to couples therapy with the third, and the husband is just like, makes sense because I'm perfect.
Go
ahead.
All right, I got a fun prank. All right, All right, here's one of those hidden camera kind of deals. You go into a relationship office, you know what I mean, like one of those relationship doctors, and you talk to them, and you cry with for fucking suckers, huh? One step below astrology, if you ask me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, our hero Sigmund Freud, this guy who famously wanted to fuck his mom. Now we're here giving relationship advice based on this guy. No. What I'm saying, you film yourself in the doctor's office, right? You have like a heart to heart with your significant other. You know what I mean? You cry in each other's arms. Like, you have to be good actors and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can't do it. But like, that's the move. And then one of the two people comes back in, they've somehow booked the spot afterwards with another partner with a different name. It just lets her, hey man, don't tell him about the other guy.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Thinks my name's Linda, this dumb motherfucker.
Yeah.
And that last guy, he thinks my name's Becky. It's Chanel.
I think that therapists, they can't out you like that. I think they have to... You know, they can't say, well, you're, they can suggest it.
Right.
But
confidentiality. It's a legal term for money whore, and they can't snitch on who's paying them. And so you use that against them.
2 for 1.
Uh-huh.
I mean, like, 100%. Why would you want to? I mean, it's hard enough.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, Joel on YouTube says, Christ almighty, on the phone with somebody about recording Chinkles for serious, and they don't take the hint when you say, bro, I got to go. Jake and Suzanne are on. What a prick. Fucking ain't right.
Wait, we're not that famous? Yeah.
Joel says, I missed all the talk about swinging and cameras. Not that I've ever done that. Yeah, fucking A, man.
Yeah.
Hey. But actually, you made it for the first question anyway. We haven't even started the first question yet. We went into a weird little detour about swinging and shit. Yeah. Thruples and quapples and tupples, all kinds of shit.
Yeah. So, but let's crack on. Should we do our first question then?
Yes, that's right. First question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, write your questions into loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com, or even better, watch live every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Ask the questions in the chat. For now, we are going to take our first question from the wild animals on Reddit.
First question. Do I tell my colleague/friend that I'm leaving my current job because of my feelings for her? I'm 30, and for the past 4 years, I've had a close friendship with a coworker who's 33. We've always seemed to have a connection and have feelings beyond friendship, but dating a colleague is not looked on favorably in our job, and it's never going to work out in this environment, especially for her being a woman in a male-dominated field. 18 months ago, we were spending a lot of time together outside of work and both admitted to having feelings for each other, but decided to not pursue anything because of our job. I was disappointed at the time, but thought that my feelings would fade over time and we'd be able to continue to work together and have a friendship. A year after, my feelings for her hadn't faded, so I decided to start finding a new job to let us be free to have a relationship if she was still interested. I didn't tell her that I wanted to get everything sorted out.
Best way to hook up with a lady, spend way less time around her. That's what I always say.
But I didn't want to pressure her into anything if she didn't feel that way anymore. After a few months of interviews, I have been offered a job, and I'm currently waiting for everything to be made official. And I am about to hand in my notice at my current job. However, last week, my coworker told me that she recently started dating someone and that she's very happy with him. Do I tell her that I got a new job so that I could be with her, or let her pursue this new relationship?
Oh, man. Talk about a guy who doesn't realize he's been in the friend zone for 15 fucking years.
Really? You
this
think
is wild.
so?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, but he said that they have feelings for each other.
But she's probably meant like friendship feelings.
Oh, you think so?
I think this is sort of like, when he says they have feelings for each other, he means he had feelings for her, and he thinks that she has feelings for him, like a gambling addict thinks the Jets are going to fucking take the over this game. They're not going to take the
feelings
over.
of a brother is what she says.
Yeah.
No, don't.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't even think of that.
I was with you before, but now I get what you guys are saying, because it's weird he wouldn't tell her that he was looking for other jobs.
Exactly.
Because if they were like actually talking about it and like into each other, he'd be like, hey, what if I like started looking for other jobs? And then she'd be like, yeah, well, if you did that, then we could be open about seeing each other.
Because there would be a happy hour that would get a little out of hand.
Right.
Either like a thigh touch or something like that.
Yeah.
In all that time that they've been talking about. So no. I think it's
someone haven't.
Oh,
Because they've been working together for a long time. Yeah. He's in the zone.
I didn't think that at all, but I did think that
he's tethered to the friend zone.
Yeah.
Fucking nailed to the walls, 100%. Man.
See, I didn't think that he was in the friend zone. I did think that there was a connection between them. However, I think it's something. What my opinion is that he shouldn't wreck her home, because sometimes people, they meet through work and that's like their relationship. They have a relationship, they have a connection because they're commiserating about work and all that stuff. So, but then when one of them leaves, they kind of don't have anything to talk about anymore because they don't have Tina from HR to complain about. Yeah, a work wife situation. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So he is sort of romanticizing this idea.
It only works while they're working together.
Once I leave, we're going to be together. But really, once he leaves, they're not going to have anything to talk about. So if she hasn't gone for it so far, let her, you move on to your own job, which also you go on to a new job and you find some other person to fall in love with at the other Kinko's.
Whatever, and not talk to or tell your feelings to her either.
What if he just works at Jimmy John's or something like that? You find another sandwich artist.
Jimmy John's, a male-dominated industry.
You just can't cut the wheat sandwich.
I can't.
I'm picturing a weird Midwest town where there's a Jimmy John's right across from a Subway, and she's inside the Subway.
Ooh, I hope I get it.
Yeah, and she's up behind the new guy teaching him how to fucking take the bread out of the dough, which you know what I mean? I'm like, why are they gutting the inside of the bread of the sub? The bread is good, But either way, she's behind him teaching him how to do that. Yeah. And they're, you know what I mean? He's throwing that little bread thing at her and she's throwing it back. And they're fucking right there on the counter because it's a slow hour. You know what I mean?
She's like, he's a sandwich prodigy.
Freaky
he's way higher than you.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like 2 p.m. on a Thursday. Ain't no customers in there. Just sad Jimmy John's employees across the street staring in there wondering what could have been if only he had the balls to talk to her.
Yeah.
So getting back to this guy, he should 100% not pursue it because of multiple things. One, she's already with somebody. Yeah, that's fine. But the whole thing is he's swapping jobs, and there's nothing women like more than a guy who's very available.
Yeah.
There's nothing that turns on a girl more than availability.
Yeah.
Maybe find someone else to at least make, if that's the case, and then.
Well, I think it's I think because I was going to say something similar along the same lines is that he should leave, get this new job because arguably the new job is better than the one he currently has, and then just blow up your social media. You're on a private jet. You're on the private Jimmy John's jet.
You're on the Jimmy John's
what?
Jet. The JJ.
It's shaped. It's painted like a sandwich. It's got a little lettuce,
a big hoagie.
Spread. Yeah, like a giant hoagie with wings. The wings are colored like tomatoes sticking out the side.
Jimmy John's goes to
That's a nice 7-grain jet up there.
Yeah. But so it's you go on to your new job, let her slide into your DMs once she sees how great your new life is going, and then go from there. But I think this like romantic gesture of like he's Richard Gere and she's Julia Roberts at the top of it, and he's like, I've got a new job, and he climbs the fire escape. That just is creepy, okay?
Yeah, Richard Gere had a better job than this guy in that movie, for sure.
Well, in the 90s, women didn't know what sexual predators really were, so that's why we think that's why we think that scene's romantic. But can you imagine that scene in 2020 and be like, fucking call 911? There's a man crawling my fire escape!
Getting back to your point before of just being like, if they don't have Tara from HR to like bitch about, what's their common ground? What are any of those other things? It's not.
Are you? But are you? Because he doesn't mention. We're both really into
anything,
kayaking or whatever.
No.
Yeah, there's
They've done nothing
else.
outside of work.
It's just this is. But also the other thing as well that I think happens is if she's in a male-dominated field. I'm not saying it's good, but maybe there's some advantage for her as far as her job to be friends with him. Does that make sense? So he's
she's leaning in.
Yeah, she's leaning in. He's the person, he's like the she's like maybe a project manager, he's the expediter. Yeah. So her shit gets dealt with before other people's because they have this friendship, it's like, there could, that's definitely a possibility.
I also want to hear his interview with the other jobs he was trying to leave for.
Yeah.
Where they're like, hey, so why are you interested in this position?
Yeah.
It's like, I actually want to fuck my coworker from my current job.
Yo, I got this baddie at this last place.
I'm picturing...
I'm trying to tap that ass. So anyway, what's your salary?
I know how to use Salesforce.
Yeah.
But I'm picturing a thing being done like a sort of mid-90s Tom Hanks movie. You know what I mean? Like just before Forrest Gump, where like it's not quite 80s romantic comedy. comedy Tom Hanks, but it damn sure ain't Oscar Tom Hanks. No. And it's him going into the interview, and he's in front of the boss, and they're like, "Why'd you leave your other job?" And he's like, "Oh, where do I begin?" And then it goes into a montage, right?
Yeah.
And that's the beginning of the
He's
movie.
like, the benefits were terrible. The friends with no benefits.
He's talking about how they met, and then 20 minutes into that, you're like, oh, he's still talking to this guy he's getting the job interview with? How long is this fucking job interview?
What if in the job interview they just mark down cuck? This guy's just a beta cuck. We don't want him to be a part of this company.
Just them calling his friend as a reference. Be like, so he's a little bitch.
Yeah, sorry, we don't want you at Quiznos because you're a cuck.
Your application is perfect in every way, but I'm sorry, it's a new company policy. The last cuck we had slit his wrists all over the fucking make table. he was playing Elliott Smith and crying. And
sorry, he was
bleeding.
weeping into the mayonnaise.
How brutal would that be? You try to kill yourself at the job, and they only call you the cuck.
They've got a picture with flowers in the corner. It just says the cuck.
It's employee of the week. They have cuck of the week. Sign up there, be like, yeah.
He's got that
Undefeated.
He's got that one tear coming out of his eye, like a 70s Native American man watching Whitey litter. It's just the
exactly
cuck.
what it is.
Yeah. So I feel like we have not exhausted, but I feel like we have given a myriad of reasons. So my final advice.
Wait, before the final advice, let me catch us up on what do you call comments? Yes. Joel on YouTube says, they're capers. We have capers on YouTube in the chat section. Joel on YouTube says, I think doctors take the hypothetical oath. Joel on YouTube says, this dude needs to just buy a fleshlight and retire. Yeah. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man alive. Yeah, 100%. Joel on YouTube says, whoa, Jake has a fancy glass tonight. Gonna break it all over the mixing board like he did a few months ago. Sorry, Jake. No, I didn't do it all over the mixing board. I did it near the mixing board. Yeah. That's what I did with my fancy glass. Oh no! Yeah, I'm not too worried about it, man. The bottle's just easy exit.
I am.
Yeah. That just sounds like you're like, was it when they christen a boat? You're just smashing.
Yeah, pretty much.
We call her the Matilda.
We call her podcast.
The Pinot Grigio didn't break on the mixer. It's gonna be a rough podcast. You're bad luck.
Okay, so as I said, we have given a plethora of reasons as to why this is probably not a good pursuit of relationship.
Yeah, plethora. Or fancy words for fancy glasses.
I've seen the Three Amigos. What? Okay.
Make your sandwiches somewhere else.
all of her big smart lady words she knows from fucking 80s movies.
Yeah, it's
sort of
from
like
Steve Martin and John Candy movies.
Like Slumdog Millionaire style. Yeah. They're figuring out how she won Jeopardy. Like, oh, you ever seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? Like, remember that scene?
Don't act like I read. So my final advice for this person is, listen, move on to this new job. You do you, get bigger and better. And if she genuinely really wants to be with you, she will chase after you, because there is nothing like a bottle of wine and looking through your old Instagram posts. You know what I mean? And you're going to get that post on like 10:30 on a Saturday, and she's going to be lonely. She's just going to have watched Married at First Sight finale, and then slide into your DMs. So, what about you guys? What's your final advice for this person?
Move on.
Move on? Yeah. Just so do you even think that if she reaches out to him that he should entertain it, or you think just...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If she reaches out to him, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But it's just a weird thing where you didn't even you found a whole new job thinking it would then mean you're both together.
Yeah.
But you didn't ask hey, if I found a new job, can we do that?
Yeah, it's very yeah. What do you think, Adam?
I think you should start an at-home candle pyramid scheme and bring her in, her and all of her friends. Win everybody over, hearts and minds, and then she can never turn them down.
It's funny that you say that, but when you said that, it made me think of the woman who made the Spanx brand. It's she got doubted a lot for years, and now she's worth like billions of dollars. So I'm just saying, yeah, follow your dreams.
Is everyone else familiar with the story of Spanx? I don't know the
yeah,
word.
yeah.
So
I saw that movie on Netflix. They're like, listen here, you done dame. Women don't want to look thin.
Yeah.
Smack. Get out of here.
No, so it was so just to give like a quick, so there was a woman who she was just like, listen, like shapewear for women sucks ass. So she was like, I want it to be like these certain specs, you know, she wanted it to be Spanx. So she like had a different job at the time, but she like took time off of work and went to different like manufacturers for pantyhose, which I guess they're all like within driving distance of each other, like in North Carolina or somewhere. And she went around to them and goes, listen, I want to make this brand. I want to make this for women. It's going to be revolutionary. And it was like all of them turned her down except for one. And well, guess what? It fucking worked. And women, you know, are still body shamed and we have to be skinny all the time. So what a romantic success story. No, but it was, it was difficult for her to get funding because people are like, you know, no one's going to buy this. And then when they came out with like the first line of it, you know, obviously it just like totally blew up. So it's like, but it was years of her struggling, getting people to believe her. And
it's a cool story, man. I mean, she's really turning AIDS into lemonade.
Exactly.
She's like, well, there's a lot of body shaming. You know what my dream is? No, not to stop it. I want that body shaming to make me rich. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So Suzanne's advice is start Spanx, and then you can win this woman over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spanx.
Start Spanx.
Spanx, but for males.
Start a billionaire company.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like my candle pyramid scheme.
Well, that's what I hate about like that Bumble. There's like a Bumble ad that's like, be the CEO you've wanted today. It's like, fuck off. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Anyway.
it's I love it. The only reason you're not running Google is because you're not fucking on our app. Like, what?
Yeah.
No, there's a bunch of reasons.
Oh, yeah.
That's like only number 157. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I digress. So what other final, okay, I think Jake, you're the only one. Final advice for this person.
I mean, the obvious advice is just to sort of get over her and, I mean, fall in love with the new lady at your job, but maybe tell her you're into her a little bit. However, that's not going to work for you, man. I really want you to get this lady. So what I want you to do is you're going to have to put rat turds in the food at her sandwich shop at night, you know? Get that place closed down. Then she comes to work at your office.
Yeah.
Or not office, but sandwich shop.
Yeah.
And this is going to be like in season 3 of The Office.
She's desperate.
Yeah.
She's homeless.
Got
you
it.
know?
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
your gym
She
in
got kicked
season
out.
3 of The Office. You just need to get that one branch closed, and then boom, you're together with Pam. But this time, you hook up with Pam, and it all works happily ever after. Get her sandwich shop closed, dude.
Tons of options.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, perfect. I think we answered that question. Should we move on to the next one?
Absolutely. Next question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, if you have questions, write them into loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com. Or even better, listen live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. But first, let's hear from a little bit from our from the fifth member of the podcast. I'm talking the white wine, people. Do you need a delicious Sauvignon Blanc? Then you can't do better than Cote Ocean Sauvignon Blanc. A very aromatic. Did I say aromatic? It's, aromatic.
Aromatic.
Yeah. I also only learn words that are more than like 6-7 letters from John Candy movies. So that wasn't in any of those movies. Very aromatic with fresh citrus fruit notes. A lovely crisp white. Ideal for an, are you fucking with me? Aperitif? With aperitif.
Aspartame.
Yeah. Asperger's. Ideal for an Asperger's with grilled fish, salads, and seafoods. I like this one, man. This is a Oceana one. It's got like a sailboat on it, and I like
grilled
anything
fish
ocean.
and seafood.
Oh yeah, that's fucking weird. I don't think these guys don't know what fish is. They're like, is it good with fish? Yeah. What about seafood? Like, bro, you can't be in charge of marketing anymore. You're a fucking moron. Jesus Christ. I thought the last guy was done because he didn't
really
know what.
Say that?
Yeah.
Or did you read it wrong?
No, I read it right.
Okay.
At first, I thought I read it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I didn't know what
Grilled
aperitif
fish
meant.
or
It's more they put that lower on the bottle where it's like you're drunk by now.
Yeah.
You're just doubting yourself.
Yeah. They're like, I thought the last guy
Nobody
here
will
was
catch this.
dumb because he didn't know how to say aromatic or aperitif. You don't know that fish comes from water, you dumb motherfucker. Get out of here. and then they fired him.
Love a landfish.
Yeah. We're chasing lionfish today. Yar! I crash me boat into the rocks every time I chase the lionfish.
I'm just saying, like, as many rats as I've seen in the New York subway, if I saw a landfish going on, I wouldn't even think about it twice. I would just get back to my podcast and play a game on my phone if I saw a landfish in the subway.
You see a homeless guy eating a sandwich in the subway with a rat tail sticking out of it. What are you eating? Landfish. Fuck off. You want some? Anyway, Cote Ocean, perfect with landfish or any seafood.
Pairs well.
Yes, pairs beautiful. Get this in your aperitif and get it in your liver. Next question on the Love Gurus podcast from the Wild Animals on Reddit.
Next question. How do I deal with my husband's relationship with his running partner? My husband is 30, and I'm 30, and my husband's 33, and he has a female running partner who's 40. They've been friends for about 10 years, and he's basically friends with her husband and her kids, too. The thing is I feel like she's crossed multiple boundaries. For example, she was invited to our wedding, but she took a picture with my husband outside of the gates of the church and posted it on social media before I even posted a picture of my husband and I. When she met our baby for the first time, she posted a pic of her and her status with a caption of, "My little doll." Third, we ended up spending New Year's Eve with her family, and when she posted pics on New Year's Eve, she thanked my husband for coming and posted more pictures of the two of them together and lamented about the fact that they didn't get to spend as much time together. He has just asked me if he can go train with her for a week in another city. There may or may not be another guy with them, but they will be sharing a house but in separate rooms. The training will be at altitude, so it'll help his training, especially as before he runs a marathon. I'm uncomfortable with this and have told him so, but he keeps telling me that I should trust him and that he would never allow anything to happen and that nothing would happen between them because he sees her as a sister. I am also upset that he's leaving me alone to deal with 2 kids for the whole weekend. Ooh. I know that she is great for him to train with and that she is an athlete and they work well together, but also training could inspire other feelings. Am I overreacting or is this okay? I just feel like, I think there's 2 ways to look at this. One is that, they've been friends for 10 years, so it's either a situation of, like death by 1,000 cuts, like you've been friends for 10 years and all of a sudden, like the passion, or...
Right, they've been working at the same sandwich shop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was into her, she didn't know he was into him. It doesn't happen until they're up in the mountains.
Won't they?
Yeah. They're having a romantic dinner of oysters and seafood.
Yeah.
Aspartame.
Like she...
Grilled fish and seafood.
Yeah. They're doing crushed up lines of aperitif.
It's, sort of in the sense of like, they don't make a marble bust in a day. It starts out with a huge block of marble and they chip it down over time. It's either that or they have been friends for 10 years. If something was going to happen, it would have happened by this point. Like, what's the... I mean, but again, like if my partner was like, oh, I'm going to go stay in a cabin in the woods with another female for the weekend, I'd be like, fuck you are. Yeah. I'm like, literally, you are allowed to do that with your mother and your sister and no other females. Like, I wouldn't give a shit if he was like, I've been friends with this woman for 20 years. Fuck off. I would never be okay with that.
Shit. They better be an immediate relative, and I want to see a 23andMe or 21andMe, whatever that is. And I want to go through the cabin and make sure there's no banjos in there as well.
I want the Ring doorbell camera on his dick the whole weekend.
Yeah. I'm getting the weird chastity belts, everything for my wife. She's like, yeah, I'm just running with some dudes up in the mountains. You know what I mean? Just sipping fucking wine and,
I mean, okay,
hot tubs, all that shit.
So that's just me. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this woman has, a reason to be concerned, or do you think that she's overreacting?
How intense of a marathon runner is he? I feel like that's like he's like leaving the city to
so
train.
I guess
he's gonna go to Big Bear. He's gonna go to Big Bear, and yeah.
This to me sounds like these are like Colorado people. We've heard of them, right?
Yeah.
So, people, it's so the idea is that in the beginning of your training, if you go train at altitude, it's lower oxygen. So therefore, when you go run a marathon or a bigger race at sea level, essentially, then you your ability to process oxygen is like so much better, blah, 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 whatever. So I mean, that's like a serious like running technique. It's like, elite athletes do it. That's why like Kenyans are such good runners, is because essentially they train at altitude and then they go run these races at sea level. So again, this is like he doesn't sound like a professional runner, but it does sound, again, if he's been friends with this runner person for 10 years, that they are pretty serious about their training. So
plus, I think it also helps any country where there's big animals that can eat people that are just out on the running trails. I think that naturally makes you a better runner.
Dude,
you're just out there running. You're like, what's that rustling in the grass? Ah!
Okay, here's a would you rather though: lion or rabid raccoon.
Ooh. That's a weird. Well, okay.
I'll take the lion 7 days a week and twice on Christmas.
Now,
a rabid raccoon will fuck you up. A lion could get tired.
Well, is it a male or female lion?
Okay.
I don't see gender.
But I see a giant mane.
Yeah.
Dude, that's why that raccoon's so angry at you, is your transphobia, dude. It's gonna fucking rip your eyes
females are
out.
the
Wrong pronoun.
hunters.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you female lion. Female lion or rabid raccoon.
Ooh.
I'd still take the female lion.
I think I would go
because
lion, because then if you get eaten and die, at least people are like, yo, did you
That's
hear Tony died
exactly,
from a lion?
Yeah.
As opposed to being like, oh, did you hear Tony died from a rabid raccoon?
If
It's
I
like,
die
oh,
from
then
a
he was asking
raccoon,
for it.
Like
then there's just going to be a picture of me in work with flowers that say cuck. Why does it say cuck? Because people like to fuck his wife? No, worse. I got mauled to death by a raccoon. Well, you mean like a drug dealer named Raccoon?
Yeah.
That's like a gang name or something? No. Like a literal fucking raccoon.
You saw his cuck shirt. You knew he was going to be killed by a rabid raccoon.
He was killed by a raccoon. Well, that's a racist fucking thing. No. Like an actual, like a literal, like with a tail and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that I gave the would you rather, so I apologize for the tangent.
Okay, here's my question.
You wanted to.
Well, all right. So do I get a fighting chance to get this raccoon? Because I think that like I could either A, get away, or B, fuck up a rabid raccoon.
You are grossly underestimating a rabid raccoon.
Yeah.
Well, I think, dude, I think that I could.
Jiu-jitsu.
I outweigh that fucking
on
thing.
the raccoons.
No,
part.
raccoons know how to jiu-jitsu.
He has a little rope.
Have you listened to Joe Rogan's episode
Yeah.
with the raccoon?
All raccoons are blue belts. Everyone knows that.
I did. I listened to the one with Eddie Bravo where he talked about beating up a rabid raccoon. Okay, and then they made
blue belt.
they made raccoon jerky out of it, and they said it was delicious, and they said it cured COVID, dude. So like, I don't know. Maybe you want to listen to the government if you want, dude, and put all this. Me, I'm gonna fight that rabid raccoon.
I'm just asking the
and
questions.
I'm not gonna have to worry about getting COVID. You know,
I'm just asking the questions.
I'm just asking questions about rabid raccoons. But I'm saying, like, is it a situation where like I'm free, or
you're ruining would you rather? Would you rather?
Well, because it makes a big difference. I'm saying, am I free or am I restrained? It's just like a saw thing. I want to play a game.
Oh,
behind door number 1
again,
is a tiger.
You can't play would you rather like that. It's like, oh,
yes, I can.
No, you can't, because it's just,
because it makes a big difference,
right? No, because that's like saying, oh, but in the female lion situation, there's a hunter with a gun 10 yards away. It's like, no, it's just, would you rather essentially have to fight off a female lion?
Okay, well, fight off is different.
Or, fight off a female lion.
I thought we were
or
talking
a rabid raccoon.
methods of execution, like bizarre ancient Roman shit. Like, you want to fucking talk to the Caesar like that.
You're looking,
you know?
you're looking too far into it. It's just, would you rather, I guess, fight off a female lion or a rabid raccoon?
With a rabid raccoon.
Okay.
Yeah, man. It's like, dude, I'm Godzilla to that fucking thing. Godzilla didn't look down and like, oh, that guy's got prison tattoos. You know what I mean? Like, he just fucking stepped on him and he used his body weight to fucking crush him.
Okay, so Tony and I are both lion. Adam, what did you say?
Oh, raccoon.
Raccoon.
Yeah, man.
Fuck up a raccoon.
It's also the rabies, dude.
Beat a raccoon's ass, dude. Sangria almost took on a raccoon in the back.
I don't think you guys understand.
Dude, it was all like that, and sangria was all over its ass. Now, my dog is this fucking big, dude. It's like 15 pounds. You guys, if you're regular watchers of the podcast, you've seen her before. She's small. She ain't even scared of raccoons, dude. But like, she's probably all right. She's dumb, so she's probably not afraid of tigers either. But like, I'm going raccoon all day. I'm team raccoon. I'll fuck a raccoon up, dude.
Okay, now
I'll make a Paul Bunyan.
Right, well,
shit.
just
Or
pull out a
Pat Durant,
raccoon.
whatever. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. I'll be playing a flute and everything. Fucking wearing that shit.
Okay, so back to the question. So again, this woman's husband is going to go spend a weekend in the woods with his running partner that he's known for 10 years. And she's saying, look, this is too much. This woman already has stepped over all of these boundaries. I am concerned that something's going to happen. He's also leaving me at home with these 2 kids. Like, should she essentially put her foot down and say, no, you can't go? Or is she being ridiculous? I think she's totally within her rights to say, no, this is weird. This woman's crazy.
Three things.
Yeah. Okay.
For this New Balance couple.
I'm going to use my raccoon hands
Yeah.
to count.
Yeah.
I think they only have 4 little...
Yeah, I was going to say. 3 claws. It's very... okay, so the woman's 40. The wife is 30.
Correct.
Okay. He's 33.
Yeah.
It's very French.
But she's
very French if she thinks that like...
Also, she's like a runner, so she could, I'm sure she's probably like
And
hot.
these are my other questions. Okay. So that I was like, already, I'm just like, all right, she's 10 years older. Mm-hmm. She also has kids.
Yeah.
All right. So the wife, the 30-year-old wife, does she also run? Right?
It doesn't sound
because a
like
lot of times you always have that with like couples, like if someone gets, especially if they lose a lot of weight and someone stays like fat or something like that, they instantly get divorced right away because someone goes on, or because like one person, I saw this even like with my brother's friend. So he was so they both met in like theater in high school or like college.
Nerds.
And,
okay.
Yeah. So she was like super dorky theater nerd. He was gamer, like background theater guy. Okay. Right. She got into running, and he still stayed with Call of Duty and all that stuff. Lost all her weight. He still stayed a fat fuck on the couch. Oh, I'm running with Chase this weekend. Like that sort of thing. 6 months later, boom, divorce.
I feel like this is like a grown woman's version of a 90s milk commercial.
Yeah. So she's got 2 kids, the 30-year-old.
Yeah.
Is she active? Is she not?
That information is not provided.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if she's an active one, I was like, okay, I think that she might. But if she is like stuck in a rut, if she's just got like mommy depression, and this 40-year-old baddie is like killing the game over here, then I could sort of see where that's coming from. Mm-hmm. If they don't have shared interests, and this guy is like finding himself, on the pavement out there, in the mountains where apparently they're, and also too, it's like, what are their mile times? Are they running 14-minute miles? Like, what are we because I was like, what if they're just like, I finished it in 3 days, or like, are they competitive?
It sounds like they're intense because they're
I would
worried
hope
about
so.
like altitude.
Yeah,
I hope so.
doing
Because if
that,
they're like Joe Schmoes and they need to go to it's just like they're fucking in a hot tub for sure.
Yeah. It is
So
it is
it's like
funny
so many questions
because
I do
I
like
need background. For.
I do like the idea of like way overweight people
Yeah.
just joining Planet Fitness for the first time and going, no, you know what I heard helps? Going to the Andes, and they go there to start working out.
But
our problem is elevation.
Yeah. I think that's why. I'm
But they
I'm
still
gonna get
insist on the pizza in the gym.
Yeah. I'm still on the slice of pizza, but I'm just at an optimal elevation.
Oh my God! I found the only gym in the Andes near a Papa John's.
So I found a Planet Fitness Papa John's.
But
that's in the Himalayas.
I will say with runners, you can't generalize. You can't say, okay, if someone is running like 7-minute mile pace, you can't say that a person who runs 10-minute mile pace isn't also a serious runner, because that person could either be like just run more marathons of the year, or they run like the ultra marathons and stuff. So they would still do like
all
the
right,
crazy
Suzanne,
training.
We get it. You run marathons.
No, but I'm just saying.
All
like,
right.
She runs the
Yeah,
marathons.
whatever. Yeah, you're right.
You know
okay.
she has a slow
Okay,
time.
I'm just gonna
That's a slow time.
I triggered Suzanne. I'm sorry. I apologize. Snaps for Suzanne. All right.
Some of us need 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, some of us
Yeah.
need 12. Even
I
though
think
we
it was.
Yeah.
I think I was.
So what's your
triggered
optimal heart
because
rate
I
at all
did.
time? Yeah.
I did run a race this last weekend, and I did run like 10-minute miles, and I was like, fuck running.
Yeah.
A half marathon? Yeah, that's good.
No, but you got to make sure
She
that
got
it's
time
not-
shamed by somebody that finished with
You just
7
got to make sure
miles.
that you're not on completely different wavelengths, because you've had to seen this, like, for how much you run. You see somebody, and like you meet their significant other, and you're like, "What the fuck?" Like, I did not expect this person to be with this person.
But no,
You're like,
I was
and
actually,
then they break up.
I was actually going to cite the story of the man lived in Colorado, more Colorado people, that he was big and he started working out. And then he got a girlfriend on the side, and then he murdered his wife and put them in an oil.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
He was a CrossFitter.
Yeah, he was like a CrossFitter.
They always
kill
people.
Got hot.
It's not all like this. Sometimes it has a happy ending. These stories.
Yeah, but he essentially was just like, hey, I got hot. I got this hot new girlfriend on the
100%,
side.
yeah.
How about I just put my wife and my kids in this
Wow.
oil well?
Yeah.
And then I can move on with my life. Well, that's not how you should conduct yourself.
So
See,
Suzanne
this
and
is
I's
why I don't
advice-
exercise much. Is because the
Exactly.
guys that do are real fucking jerks. You know.
So Suzanne and I's advice is take the children to your mother's. Otherwise, you're going to get murdered.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
He's changed his lifestyle, and all of a
I
sudden
like
he
the-
wants to get rid of you and go for the 40-year-old.
Yeah, Suzanne's just so jaded from watching a new true crime
Yeah.
doc every week that she's like, "Oh no, a breakup? That's
Yeah.
the least of your problems.
Suzanne's
you
like,
need to be worried
Suzanne's
about
like, run, but not the race.
from him."
Yeah,
He's like, oh, what's my husband's
Go to your mom's
name?
house.
Chris Benoit.
yeah.
Should I have a conversation with him? No, get a 38 special. You're gonna need that.
Get out.
I don't think that's bad advice really in this situation. But I think
Right?
like, so if we so that's worst case scenario, I would say. But even
Murder?
less.
Nah, there's worse. There's worse.
There's worse than
Imagine
murder.
if he ran a 20-minute mile.
He could be cheating. That's worse.
Love is past.
Love is
murder's past.
love is worse.
He
Murder
could-
second.
He could, it could be worse. He could be really into Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. Know what I'm saying?
True.
Worse.
Could be.
That's a struggle.
Okay, but so I would say, it's, but I agree. I think it sort of seems as though their paths are not, get it, running paths. Okay, their paths are not converging. It seems like, he's continuing with his fitness. She's like staying home with the kids. And maybe that is their thing. Maybe they are opposites and it's totally fine. But so I guess, for me, her question is it okay? I guess it's not okay. And so I think it's okay for her to put her foot down and say, no, I'm not okay with you leaving me with these brats for the weekend. But it also sort of points to the fact that you need to explain why it's not okay.
Yeah.
Like maybe there is that bigger problem in your relationship. You could nip this one weekend in the bud, but that's not fixing what's probably an issue at the core of your relationship.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody who's has a baby on the way now, if my wife ever tried to leave me alone with that kid for a weekend, I mean, I would just murder her and that kid and put them in oil barrels.
Jake,
It's just there's certain things you don't do, and
You
I
don't need the workout part.
No,
of it.
no. I'm gonna do that and then go watch Andy Cohen and eat fucking cheeseburgers, man.
Jake, I didn't want to break it to you here, but me
Yeah.
and your pregnant wife are running marathons together. And
See, I know you're lying because she would never run.
I was gonna
You
say,
know your wife.
Pregnant, not pregnant, she don't run, dude. She don't run. That's a different dude's wife right there.
I was just gonna say, if I know,
can't even yes and me.
one day
You see this improv skills
Yeah.
here.
I was just gonna say one day I'm
That's a man
definitely
in
gonna
love.
be
Man in love.
subpoenaed for this
sure.
podcast, but it's going to be for a myriad of reasons. But
Yeah. one
one of them could be, excuse me, you're do you know Jake Vevera? What now? For what reasons?
Oh Christ! Why am I getting canceled? Because of something he got drunk and said, "What? Murdered in oil barrels?" So that doesn't affect my career, though, right? Yeah,
She wasn't keeping up with my lifestyle.
So you're telling me I'm going to be on a Netflix doc?
Yeah.
I can plug a special on it.
Suck it, Judy Gold.
Look, I was
what?
doing
Okay.
burpees. She could keep up.
I was cursing his
Judy
name.
Go-
He
there's
did me a solid.
If anybody's like, if there's a hint of cancellation, Judy Gold just finds a microphone. Judy Gully's my mom. I don't know why. My mom is going to find a microphone.
Yeah.
And cancel you.
Okay, so I feel like I've given my final advice for this person. Any other final advice for this person?
Take the kids and run.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, All right, the obvious part is kind of tough, and that's that you are going to probably have to have a talk with this guy. Did it say how long they've been together?
4 years.
Wow, they have 2 kids.
4 years.
They have 2 kids.
Right. Yeah. And so
4
like a
years,
while. So the thing is like anytime you're in a relationship with somebody who's been doing something, whatever that thing is, and they've been doing it since you met, you have not nipped that in the bud. So they've continued doing it. So the longer they've been doing it and you've been with them, the harder it's going to be to get them stop doing it. Now, it's not that there's no way to just sort of have that conversation to be like, hey, listen, we've been together for this long and we're older now, and it might be inappropriate now that we're in our 30s, we're in our 40s, we're in our whatever. But it's a different conversation than if they just started doing it tomorrow. Obviously, if you've been together for 4 years or even 4 months, and it's going well, and they're like, oh, hey, I just got a new running buddy. We're going to the Andes. Like it's like, no, the fuck you're not. Fuck you. I will murder you and put you in an oil barrel, and the judge is only going to give me like a $50 fine. That's how fucking crazy you're being right now. But that's not the case. They've been doing it the whole time, so you kind of don't have a huge leg to stand on.
Yeah, she does. Oh, what? I'm getting canceled for that.
Yes, and it's a leg that lasts a long time. It's one of the marathon legs. You know what I'm saying? So you're either going to have to just have a conversation with her and break it that like you don't like this thing, or you're going to have to be like, hey, I also have a running buddy. You've never met her. She's been in prison for the last, how long we've been together? 4 years? She's been in prison for 5 years for murdering her husband and child because she got in shape running with me. She's out of prison now. We're running together. And then you just, you hire somebody from Central Casting to just kind of pretend to be your running partner. And you're like, well, I'll quit running with Stabby Kate if you quit running with Gary, And you kind of, you sort of do like a, not a Mexican standoff, but a Colorado mountain standoff. That's what this is. Because people disappear in the mountains. Ask Gabby Petita.
When we got contacted by Central Casting to plug them, we thought this is going to be a tough one. But but Jake's going to be able to work it in. It might be the second question.
Yep.
40 minutes into the podcast, but we'll plug you, Central Casting.
Call Central Casting. They'll save your relationship or spiral into chaos where one of you ends up in an oil barrel. But either way, it's going to be eventful, and there's going to be a Netflix doc about it. Worst case scenario. Worst case.
Yeah. Amazing. So we did that question. Let's do one more for time.
All right. Last question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, if you have a question to write it to loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com. Let me read another one of our unofficial sponsors here. Do you want a delicious Pinot Grigio? Then you can't do better than Candoni Pinot Grigio. Rich in Italian heritage, Candoni continues the legacy of not only our family, but also that of the ancient Etruscans. That's like north of Italy, I think. Or is that Ethiopia? I don't know. No, Ethiopia is Africa. A vibrant culture that lived in... Oh, they were going to tell me where it was at. They knew I was fucking dumb. They're giving me a geography lesson with this.
Don't torture Ethel with the label.
And just in case you are a dumb fucking podcast host reading this out loud on the internet, a vibrant culture that lived in Italy before the rise of the Roman Empire. Our artfully painted bottles are inspired by their paintings, and their passion for life can be shared with every pour of our delight Candoni Pinot Grigio to achieve its aromatic fruitfulness. I know that word because of the last bottle. And full-bodied palate. We use only the finest grapes grown in the fabulous Venetino region. Candoni Pinot Grigio is perfect as an aperitif. I know that one as well. But also pairs nicely with salads, seafood, risotto, fish, octopus, shark, shrimp. It's all seafood, people. Served chilled. Candoni family, get you some. I actually like the front of this too. Look at that.
That's a great bottle.
It's very Grecian.
They look Greek, right?
Yeah.
It looks more
It's very
Greek than it does
Hercules.
Italian, dude. I think this may be the first case of cultural appropriation ever. The Etruscans just stole their fucking paintings and all their shit from the Greeks, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one quick boat ride over there from Etruskia to Greece, I think they were just like, fuck this, I'm stealing that shit.
Yeah.
And then they grew dreadlocks and everything, and they were just fucking up there painting guys that looked like this,
100%.
all blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Uncle Ben of wine.
It's the Uncle Ben of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it's like Aunt Jemima that gets you fucking drunk. Candoni Pinot Grigio. Cultural
me some of that.
appropriation you can really taste. Get you some. Now let's take our last question from the wild animals on Reddit.
Last question. I think my wife is secretly having a relationship with her best friend. I've been with my wife for 10 years and married for nearly 2. We have 2 kids, and everything started out great. As kids, we came along. We then got into separate beds for about 8 years now, which is blamed on my snoring. The sex/physicality started to dry up shortly after, and then miraculously she wanted another child, so I was required again. She comes in at 6 p.m., eats her dinner, and then goes to bed between 8 and 9 and leaves me on my own every night, so it's a pretty lonely existence. Around 2 years ago, she got back into contact with one of her friends that she was close with years ago. Her friend also has 2 kids and a rocky relationship, but she's not married. But our youngest kids are nearly identical in age. They're now inseparable. They message each other constantly. As long as she is awake, they talk. Then over time, they started dressing the same, have the same interests, and call each other their rock. Then it started to get a little bit weird. Their terminology for each other is queens and princesses. When we go into the other woman's house with her kids, me and the kids are left downstairs, and they go upstairs together to watch scary films.
Wait, so these are 2 women?
Yeah.
Oh, this glass is half empty, son of a bitch. This guy
I
sucks.
was gonna say. I was like, I need
I thought it was
I need
another...
context. I was very confused.
Dude,
I was very
I thought it was another man-woman running situation. I
Yeah,
don't give
yeah.
a fuck. Hey, that last lady had real problems, not you, dude.
Yeah.
Both of them sit there in the bed pretty much naked, topless, and it's all fine because I guess it's a breastfeeding thing or whatever. But now I've started...
Wait, but the kids are there. That's not sexual if they're breastfeeding? Wait, are they breastfeeding?
I'm just reading the question.
I'm so fucking
Yeah.
confused right now.
Okay. But now the 2 have started to have weekends away together where they get an Airbnb and I am just left at home with the kids. She's also very protective of her phone. I've tried to approach the topic of how close they are and if the other woman is trying anything with her, but she just gets angry and defensive, telling me that I'm jealous and that she is a best friend and I am controlling her. Should I be concerned? So yeah, to give a quick synopsis, so there's a couple that they've been married for 10 years. They haven't slept in the same bed for 8. They have 2 kids together, but they basically have no sex life. The last time they had sex essentially was to
The
conceive
writer of this
the
is
second
male or
kid.
female?
Male. So was to conceive the second kid. So he is saying she now has this best friend who is a female, and they spend all their waking moments speaking to each other. Then they have these like movie nights together. They go away on weekends. And his question...
Tits out, movie
with
night.
tits out.
Tits out, movie
Tits
night.
out. Tits out,
Right?
screams out. Yeah, I mean that's how I watch my horror
I mean,
films.
when you're with a friend, you're just like, okay, let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Take our time.
It's-
Dude, anytime
yeah.
I'm with the boys, balls
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Balls out, shirts off.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but to be fair,
Good thing
if-
there's no women here,
Let's-
so we don't have to wear pants. Hey,
I'm-
guys.
yeah,
Let's go, boys. Get hard. We're gonna watch Ozarks.
yeah. But I will say, if I have the choice to watch a movie with or without a bra, I'm choosing without a bra like 9 times out of 10. You know, it's only
Right.
So yeah, so okay, so so these 2 women are very close, but they go on weekend trips away together, and he is saying his question is she have they developed a relationship, or is this really just her best friend and I have nothing to be concerned about? I think so. That's like the synopsis. I think bare minimum, you have something to be concerned about because your wife, whatever if she is having a lesbian relationship on the side, she does not like you. Okay, like she hates you. She thinks you're scum. She does not. Maybe she doesn't think you're scum, but she is just not that into you.
It sounds like she'd rather fuck no one than you.
Yeah. And it's like, and
complacent.
this, whatever she's doing with the best friend, it's almost irrelevant because
That's
it's
pretty rough,
very
yeah.
clear she does not like you. And so I think that's issue number 1. If it was something where you guys were still having sex, you guys still had date nights and spent time together, that's one thing. But the fact that you guys basically have no relationship, and she has a relationship with this other person, be it platonic or not, or more than that. That kind of doesn't even matter. It's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, dude. When I
said
that the friend being there was like a glasses half full kind of problem for you, that's when I assumed you were fucking.
Because you guys are dudes, and you'll want to see women scissoring.
Yeah,
I get it.
It rocks, dude. Yeah, it totally rocks. That said,
what I walked in on my wife with a vagina in her face.
Yeah.
I'm flabbergasted.
I was like, oh no, it's like a glasses 2 halves full kind of problem. Why? I'm just swimming in booze right now.
I love it when my kitchen's full of labia.
Labia as far as the eye can see.
Just floppy tits because no bras and labias.
Who wants some flapjacks? Me from my friend's vagina.
But that was when I assumed they were sleeping in the same bed, which apparently hasn't happened in 8 years. You know how like sometimes they'll have questions and they'll bring up a valid concern in the title of the question, and they'll keep going and keep going and keep going, and then eventually within that question is sort of like a great white shark of a fucking problem where it's like, dude, your original question is not what you should be worried about, man. This whole not sleeping in the same bed for 8 years out of a 2-year marriage. Look, it's one thing if you've been married for 50 years
they have a 10-year relationship.
10 year. Wait, I thought that's what I said.
They have so I thought you said 2 year. Sorry.
Oh, I just I'm slurring my speech, which is brought to you by Candoni Pinot Grigio, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like it's a little bit more normal, like when you're older. Like I've seen older married couples do that because they're like, well, we'll just get 2 bedrooms right next to each other. You know what I mean? And they don't go into a lot of details, but you're like, one or both of them is a farter. And I think they kind of want to keep that thing separate. You know what I mean? They're older. They want to have their own bathrooms.
They want REM sleep. They have different pee schedules at night.
Yeah, man. They got to have different sleep numbers and all this fucking shit. You know what I mean? One of them might have a catheter. Like, you're like, all right, maybe separate bedrooms is the move, you know? Mm-hmm. But if it's like, oh no, we've been sleeping in a different bed for the last 8 years out of our 10-year marriage, we're in our 30. Like,
we're 35.
That fucking marriage is doomed, bro. Like, that's so much more of a problem than, and I think it would be a problem. What you're saying right now, it's like, oh, the going away and getting defensive thing. I was a little confused about the tits out thing because he mentioned something about breastfeeding. And I'm like, well, if they're breastfeeding kids, it's a weird time to fuck. You know what I mean? It's like, he's eating, I'm fucking, I'm multitasking. Like that's a weird thing that it's not a sexual thing, So I mean, that necessarily by itself isn't sexual. The going away for weekends and then getting defensive with you about it, that's a pretty big concern. Now, it could be that you're a bit of a dick. You sound like a bit of a dick. And usually I try to err against the people writing a question because we try to point this out at least once an episode. The people writing these questions, this source is a source by, for, and about them. It's their Fox News, their MSNBC, their North Korean state-run news if they own the entire country. So, if they kind of breeze over fights and things like that, I tend to think it may have escalated, and that's kind of how we got here. That seems like maybe that was the question with the defensiveness. And that said, definitely getting defensive is a problem. Definitely getting, but to me, the not sleeping in the same bed thing is just sort of like, oh, well, dude, that's doomed without her. I mean, even without all the scissoring that is probably going on, your wife hates you, bro.
Yeah, Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say the fact that she leaves him downstairs with the kids while they go up to watch movies. Oh, that's rude.
It's rude.
That's pretty weird.
That's very weird.
Tony's
You're like, hey, we're gonna go watch movies upstairs.
Yeah.
You stay down here with the kiddos. That's like the children's table
Play
at
blocks.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Tony's like, listen, I'll tolerate cheating in a relationship, but rudeness.
Yeah.
Do not leave me with the kids.
Again,
I want to watch the movie.
we said what I would do if my wife left me with children, and I mean, like, I'm not going to say it again because she's home now. Hello, Amy. Shout out to Amy.
I just like the 2 women be like, this idiot thinks we're breastfeeding.
He walks in on that scissoring. You're like, oh, it's part of breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. I think I'm as bad at math as this guy. He's like, wait a minute. She said they're breastfeeding up there. Why am I watching the kids?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
What do you mean you're
you know or
breastfeeding?
you don't. It's a very utility sort of thing that they're doing. So it's like
Yeah.
it's very funny being like, no, there's like blankets and children involved. I don't think that they're going to be hooking up.
Yeah.
If baby's on the teat there. So,
But I missed the part about him leaving the kids with him. She's leaving the
Yeah,
kids
and
with
then
him
going up there.
so she can go breastfeed.
breastfeed.
Bro, what's she breastfeeding? I mean, it's either the friend
He goes
or
up there
she's
and
lying about
there's no
breastfeeding.
milk in the bottles
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Or she's breastfeeding a dog with no teeth. I don't know what's going on up there, but I know she's not breastfeeding your kid because you're
Yeah.
watching your kid, dude.
It is very unclear, but I think ultimately, their relationship is doomed. To me, it sounds like a situation where perhaps he makes money and he is sort of the provider, so she is keeping him along, to provide for the kids, et cetera, and he, meanwhile she's developed this relationship, whatever it is, with the other friend. So but it doesn't matter. It's
They could be staying together for the kids.
Yeah.
that kind
That's
of
the
thing,
lowest
yeah.
concern.
in this
Yeah, right. I mean,
situation.
He goes to bed at 8 o'clock.
That's pretty wild.
That's
Because-
depression.
Somewhat,
Yeah.
but also she's
That says I'd rather be asleep than alive.
Yeah.
But also, like, saying that you go to bed at 8 or 9 o'clock, and he said they go to bed in separate rooms.
Yeah.
Like, she shuts her door at 8 o'clock, but you don't know what's going on for those next 4 hours. Like, it's just, listen, sir, I don't know what you're like as a person. There's an
He's
argument.
probably not great. Let's face it.
There's an argument that, you are kind of a wet blanket. But there's
I'm
definitely
getting wet. Dude,
happier.
I'm the lawyer of that side of the case. He's a wet blanket,
there's a
dude.
possibility you could be happier in a relationship, and for whatever reason your wife isn't coming clean. Again, it's probably because you're providing financial stability. But I just think this is a terrible relationship, and you need to cut the cord. I don't like to often say dissolve marriages, but in this case, put that in a tub of acid.
100%. like Jack Nicholson in The Joker, throw it right into that green pit or whatever.
Yeah.
I say
It
switch
either
those-
dies in there or it comes back fun and covered in clown paint.
Switch those babies to formula, and then we'll know the secrets.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Wean those bitches.
You free-titted bitches. No more free teat now. Everything's in the fridge, so put your goddamn bras on, you whores.
Yep.
We know your secrets.
There's
You
no
milking
reason-
ladies.
There is
Yep.
no reason for those raccoon eyes
Yeah.
to be out anymore.
No.
That's right.
Solved.
That's right. You tell that
Therapy.
kid to stay away from your tits. Tell him to stop attacking it like rabid raccoons because I
formula
heard
baby now.
on Rogan that formula's better. So we're going with that. And we're not going to have him, stretching you out and making your tits looking like tube socks.
you
So I'm switching the kid to formula, which means you and Cindy don't need to go up. You've been breastfeeding for 8 hours
Exactly.
a week on average.
Call
Like, this
her
is-
bluff.
Because also
Found the formula to your relationship right there.
here's another test. Are they really breastfeeding? Well, I mean, I'm sure they are, but I'm just saying, like, because women's nipples get so, like, crazy. Sorry, Amy, I know you're listening to this, but, it's like women's, like, nipples get so, like, drywall, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, from breastfeeding.
Was her
So
friend
you
just
don't
sucking
need
on
to-
her tit, and she's like, we're just breastfeeding.
Yeah. or
She's clearing my duct.
or she just,
You
or she just didn't feel it. She's like, I ain't.
I don't know. She's like,
Anyway,
my husband's a fucking...
but
And no need to apologize to Amy. Like I said, I've been listening to Rogan. He said formula and elk meat. That's all I'm giving the kid
There you go.
once he's born. Is
Sliced
just,
jalapenos.
Yeah, jalapenos, elk formula.
nice.
Bro, not only is it
kid's gonna be
better
a
than breast
savage.
milk, he's gonna be putting people in arm bars. It's gonna be wild.
I
dude.
love it.
It's gonna be awesome.
I can't wait till I can have a kid and someone goes, "Yo, beast mode." I just want someone to describe it.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm gonna have my kid grow up to beat
Got my
up
kid on
the
DMT.
Paul kids, man.
Microdosing.
Yeah,
Elk meat.
100%.
Blood of Fauci.
Peanut.
Fucking
100%.
killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The kid's
yeah.
just named Jamie Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie Bravo Jr. Like all one word. Yeah.
But that's my final advice for this person. Any other final advice, or
Yeah, the relationship's doomed.
yeah, you guys are fucked.
Yeah, I mean, this does seem like not only does it seem like your wife hates you, it does seem like a real Michelle Bachmann's husband situation. You know what I'm saying? So I think that not only do I think your friend is indeed sleeping with her best friend, I think, look, you haven't been sleeping in the same bed as her for 8 years. And why have you not been that into sleeping with your wife? And why have you not been cheating on her? I think you want to fuck Michelle Bachmann's husband, dude. You know, I think you should just go to CPAC. Go to CPAC. You know what I mean? Get a 6-pack and go to CPAC and meet Michelle Bachmann's husband. And you go, yeah, dude, you love Jesus more than you love dick. Me too, bro. You want to go have a couple drinks, talk about it? We can go listen to Rogan, you know? And you seduce Michelle Bachmann's husband. And that way, you either A, find you're into that, or B, you make your wife jealous. And you're kind of like, oh, man.
Exactly. Start training marathons.
Yeah, at least make
At
her
altitude.
feel insecure.
At
Like,
altitude.
dude, I have the second hottest secret gay relationship in my marriage right now, dude. He's killing it with Michelle Bachmann's husband.
Yeah.
This is fucking crazy.
Hot. Yeah. Perfect. Well, I think we answered that question. I think we answered all of the questions.
We did.
Roll good. And so yeah, we're. I think we're. Yeah, I would say percentage-wise, we are not home wreckers.
Yeah, I think we told them to. Well, I did technically tell that last guy to wreck his home, Michelle Bachmann's husband's home.
But that was just one. For the most part, we tell people to stay together.
Yeah. I think we did. I think we saved a lot of relationships.
We
today.
saved them. We did it.
Yeah.
About unity.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the words of
family unit.
Dr. Phil, you should make your relationships work better for you unless you're that last dude. In that case, you need to fuck Michelle Bachmann's husband at CPAC. But this has been an awesome episode.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to Tony and Adam. You guys have been awesome. Thank you to everybody who watched
Thank you.
live.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
to Joel on YouTube. Until next week, later.